guys, so welcome back to my channel today, and we are doing a brand new video today. So today is going to be another episode of Design and Decorate, and let me tell you, I'm excited because you know why? Because 1, Sims 4, 2, Design and Decorate, and 3, Parenthood just came out, and 4, Sims 4 Building. Who doesn't love it? It's free, it's lit, it's there, it's amazing. Gotta have it in my life, like, right now. So, if you guys not know, I am actually a Let's Play for the Parenthood game pack tomorrow. So if you want to check out my speed build and my creative sim for the Worldly family, I will link it down below, because this speed build right here actually goes hand in hand with the storyline that I'm going to talk about in a minute. So for the Worley family, they have a really unique storyline, and Gideon is one of my favorite characters, and so is his kids. But with his what goes hand in hand is that with Gideon's parents actually is going to be involved with this Let's Play, because I kind of want to, you know, I want Gideon to go to his parents for advice, for parenting advice, because Gideon was actually the only child, and kind of like he wants to know, how was he raised as a child? What did they do in order to raise me right in that type of society? So he wants to try to get that hand in hand, that good advice from his parents, that feedback, that life support, that advice, just in life in general. So that's what he's trying to do. So for the storyline for his parents is Jackie and Colin Worley. And since Gideon was an only child, he didn't really have that sibling to look up to. He didn't have that role model. He didn't have that big sister or big brother to really look up to, or have to get help for like bullies in high school, or just random questions he has to ask, like, you know, personal questions, you know, puberty, life in general, pimples, braces, facial hair. It's crazy. He had to go through all that by himself. He didn't have his father, because his father was actually in the military back in the day, and he wasn't really home all that much. But his mother was a stay-at-home mom, but she wasn't, you know, really a stay-at-home mom. Like, she was there, but she wasn't really there, if you know what I mean. Like, she was there, like, to take care of him and stuff, but she was kind of always out and about doing what she needed to do. She was trying to work on her own business, but it didn't really work out. And she was going back and forth between jobs, and it was really hard for them to really make ends meet. And with that being said, Jackie and Colin were high school sweethearts, and their parents really didn't approve of the relationship back in the day. And what their parents did was they literally tried to break them up, but it did not work. I literally got so mad at their parents. I'm like, yo, Maria, Sarah, Colin, and Jack, what are you doing? Literally, what are you doing? You 4 are literally trying to sabotage your kids' relationship because you literally disapprove of their lifestyle. Like, literally, what is wrong with you? I wanted to literally slap them in the face. Like, literally, why? Just why? Just tell me, give me your explanation, and tell me why you wanted to, like, literally break them up for no apparent reason. Like, you just, man. Anyway, that was like 15 years ago, and well, not 15 years ago. That was like, because they're like 60-something years old right now. That was like about. They got married at age 19, right out of high school, so they kind of were in the first year of college and stuff like that, and then they got married. It was a real big ordeal back in the day, and it was kind of happy, but also sad, and also frustrated because of their parents. You know, life in general makes me mad. But, like I said, back in the day, they were about 19 when they got married, so they're 60-something years old right now. That was a long time ago. I literally told them, like, I said, I told Jackie and Colin, watch your back, because your parents might literally sabotage your wedding at the very exact moment. So I told them, you know what, go elope. It's the best option. Don't tell anyone. Just elope. It's easy. And so they eloped, and all things were really great. So afterwards, when they eloped and they went on their honeymoon, and they didn't really tell their parents, like, saying, no, they told their parents, like, literally about 4 weeks later, saying, hey, we're married, and you know, we're not engaged anymore, we're already married and stuff like that. And they literally said, engaged? Marriage? Honeymoon? What? Literally, like, they were like kind of confused, like, wait, where did you get the money from? Like, no, first they said, first of all, where did you get the money from? Where did you get married? And again, marriage, honeymoon, money, what? Where? Huh? I don't understand. So they basically were like kind of like, you know, let's say furious at them, because like literally they did not tell them a thing, even though that they are parents and they still disapproved. They still wanted to be there and still wanted to know about the wedding and everything like that. But they knew, Jackie and Colin knew deep down in their heart that they said, oh, our parents will not ruin our wedding. Our parents will literally wreak havoc, or like do some random crap, saying, "Oh, I eject. Sorry, I disapprove of this wedding. They're a piece of trash." Literally, I'm like, okay, yo, Jack, Marie, and Sarah, and whatever the name is, literally, why are you doing this? Like, literally, why? So I just didn't like how they were dealing with things back in the day. So I thought, you know what, Jackie and Colin are just doing really well with their lives. And so after about 20 years afterwards, about when they were in their mid-30s, they were pregnant with Gideon. And Gideon was like a really happy child. He was born early, about 2 months early. He had a little bit of a, I wouldn't say a birth defect. I would say he had some breathing issues when he was born, because he was about 2 months early, and that's kind of really, really rare. And they were kind of scared that he wasn't going to make it. The doctor said, "I don't know if Gideon's going to make it. I don't know what's going to happen to him." And Jackie was kind of upset. She was kind of in denial at that point. It's like, oh, what's going on? I don't know. Like she was literally having she was hyperventilating, and she was having I thought she was going to have a heart attack. Like literally, I'm like, if she dies, I might lose it. So she didn't die, and Gideon was all good. They kept him in the hospital for 2 months so he can kind of grow and kind of just feel better and breathe on his own as he got older. So afterwards, when Gideon was around 2 years older, 2 years old, he started to get a little a speech impediment, and it was okay. It worked really well for him. He kind of was working really, really hard in school. His parents taught him about all this stuff. He was homeschooled until he went into the 6th grade, like all the way to the 6th grade, because Jack and Colin knew that they would have some problems in school. Like the teachers didn't really understand, or the kids would pick on them, and they just didn't want to deal with all the trouble and all the drama. And the teachers telling like, "Oh, we might have to hold him back a year or do something like that." They just didn't want to listen to about all that drama about the school. And the way they were living, the school district they were living in wasn't really good. So I guess it was the best option for Gideon to be homeschooled until he was in 6th grade. Because when he got into 6th grade, they moved districts into a better neighborhood, because Colin actually got a really, really well-paying job, and he's actually in the business career. Well, kind of sort of in the business. He owns his own business, kind of sort of. Like he owns a restaurant, which is really good and really very successful. He owns a 4/5-star restaurant at this point in time in the game, and he's doing really, really well. And I'm so proud of him as well. What is my life? I don't know. But yeah, he's doing really, really well, and I'm glad he's working really hard. He's been working on that restaurant for literally 30 years. Like when he became around 33, and it's been 30 years since then, they have been working their butt off on that restaurant. And when Gideon actually graduated high school, he graduated with honors. He was valedictorian. He was a class president, and he was on the debate. He was the president of the debate team, and I was literally blown away on how much success he actually had. And he actually grew up to being a very responsible adult. But he actually met this one girl back in high school that really, literally ruined his life. I literally was like, okay, yo, Janette. Well, yeah, Janette, what's going on? I don't know what's going on at all. Literally, I was kind of baffled at the point in time about Janette. Yeah, Janette. Yeah, yeah, Janette bugs me so much. Well, she did bug me so much, but she was the captain of the cheerleading squad, the chess team, and then also she was also on the debate team. And so that's how Janette and Gideon actually met for the first time on the debate team. And it was really, really weird, because I'm like, oh, so the debate team's pretty cool. It's pretty lit. It's pretty cool. It's awesome. And they had a lot of fun together. And they went to nationals and were very, very successful. So afterwards, when Gideon and Janette started talking a little bit more, they got more closer to each other. They started dating. And so for about a couple months later, they started to go steady. And Jackie and Colin were kind of skeptical about it a little bit, because they thought, oh, pretty cool, different type of style, and they were like, okay, we're gonna let this play out, because they knew back in the day, they knew about their parents, so they didn't want to be like their parents. They didn't want to force oh, you shouldn't be with this girl, you shouldn't be dating her at all, she's a bad influence on you, stuff like that, yada yada yada. Don't want to catch yourself, you gotta focus on your grades. And Gideon was like, I'm fine. And so they just didn't want to push him, so they didn't. And afterwards, a couple months later, they were only they started going really serious junior year. And after the junior year, they took their ACTs, stuff like that, SATs and stuff like that. And afterwards, when they were done with their exams, they went on the summer break. They went to the lake. They had a lot of fun with there. They enjoyed their summer together. They had so much fun, and things started to happen. So around that time, their junior year, the woohooty stuff, that stuff happened, and Janette ended up being pregnant at the time. So it was kind of hard for them to really kind of understand how they were going to take care of a baby. Janette didn't really know until she was around 2 months pregnant, because she was really, really petite, very, very petite, but kind of average size. I don't know how to explain it, but she found out around 2 months later. She took a pregnancy test just to make sure that she wasn't having it on a period or anything like that. So she just took a test to make sure, and she was in fact pregnant. She confirmed with the doctor, and the doctor said, Janette, you pregnant with a boy. And she was pregnant with their son Nash, and it was pretty surprising. And afterwards, when they kind of wanted to tell, they did not want to tell their parents, but they had to. And they were really, I was kind of surprised. I was really surprised when they told them. I literally told Janette and Gideon, and it's the year 1970. What you doing? You crazy? No, it was not 1971 or whatever. It was not during that time. It was around the 80s. And it was oh, so well, no, not the 80s, because they were in high school in the 80s. Well, they were in elementary school in the 80s. So it was around the 90s. So I was thinking, okay, so Janette, Gideon, what you doing? Why are you about to tell your parents, I'm about to have a baby? No, don't do that. That's not right. But then I thought to myself, you know what? They can do whatever they want. I'm not going to judge them. I'm their friend. They're really cool people. And afterwards, what was that spike? Afterwards, when they told me that, saying, I'm going to go I told our parents. They were cool with it. They were very, very supportive. They were kind of a little bit shocked at first. When Janette told me that her parents were really shocked, it was really weird, because her father was oh, whoa, Janette, what you doing? Literally, her father was I disapprove. I don't like it at all. But he knew deep down in his heart that he really cared about his little girl. But he kind of disowned her. Yeah. Disowned his own child, his only child, actually. He disowned his only child, who was pregnant, who was 18. No. She was 17 at the time. She got pregnant at 17. Gideon was actually 18. He was also 17, actually, going on 18. So it was really weird. It was around the summertime. That's when they were their junior year. Well, junior summertime break thing, whatever you want to call it. They were juniors, but no longer on summer break. That's how they got pregnant, stuff like that. Anyway, so they were at the lake. They were at the lake when they got pregnant. So when they told their parents, Janette's father kind of disowned her, kicked her out of the house, and so on and so forth. Gideon was stuck with. He wasn't really stuck. He was he offered the invitation to pretty much kind of saying, hey, Janette, you want to move in with me into my parents' house? She was okay with it, and his parents was actually cool with it as well. They had a spare bedroom upstairs, and during that time, they were kind of on ends meet as well. They couldn't afford to really take care of 5 people at the time, because they had Janette. There was Janette, Gideon, Jackie, and Colin, and they also had the little baby boy, Gideon. So when Janette moved in, she was around 6 months pregnant at the time, her second trimester, and it was starting to get a little bit point in time where Gideon actually had to get a job and actually support for his family. So he really did. He held his own weight, and I'm glad he did. I'm really glad he did. So with Gideon, he was around when they were around, let's say they were 17. Gideon just turned 18 afterwards, about a couple months later, when she was 6 months pregnant. They had their birthday and stuff like that. And when they became seniors, they were thinking, you know what, we should move out together. We should get an apartment. And so they did. They were really well responsible. They had enough money to really actually move out, because they had jobs before then. but they, life got in the way, and, Janette got pregnant. They had to go do a new situation. Janette got kicked out of her parents' house. It was a whole different situation that they had to deal with, and it was really hard for them to cope. So later in the long run, let's move for about 5 years later, when they actually had the baby. So they had the baby, they moved out, they had their new apartment, doing really well. Then they had Gideon. Gideon was about 5 years old now. He was doing really well. And Gideon was a really cool kid. Like I said, Gideon, when I said in my previous video for the Creative Sim and the Speedboat, I think, Gideon wasn't he wasn't a really that type of kid. So with Gideon, it was around when he was 5 years old. When Gideon was 5 years old, and 5 years, and Elena and Gideon, they are about 7 years apart. It was around that time when when Janette was also having a little bit of a sickness. She was dealing with breast cancer or some type of cancer. I don't know what it was, but I think she was dealing with breast cancer. And during that time, she was getting really sick. She was going on treatment, really going really hard. And it was around that time when they found out that she was pregnant again with another child, which was Elena. And it was really, and during that time, was really scared that she was going to have a miscarriage, but she wasn't. And she was fine with it. And everything was fine. She was getting really sick afterwards as well. But she had a very healthy baby, Elena, a baby girl. And it was around that time when Elena was around 2 years old. And it was that time when Janette actually died. And that was really upsetting. So many J names right now. But no, Janette died from breast cancer. And that really took a toll on Gideon and Nash. Nash lost it. He lost it in his own way. Like I said in my Creative Sim, my speed build last time, I told you guys that Nash lost it in his own way. He acted out a bit. He acted out a little bit. He was kind of rude towards others. He wasn't really cooperating in school, having bad grades. His grades were slipping, but he took it out on his father the most. He thought his father did something. He thought his father really wrecked their marriage or whatever. He thought he blamed his father for so much that he couldn't really do anything to really fix it. And Gideon told him that it was just a natural cause. He was a little boy at the time. He didn't understand about death. He didn't know about losing people. He didn't know about anything at all. But when he lost his mother, he really just didn't understand, and he did not want to understand. And after that, Gideon was like, whoa, I lost my wife. I don't know what to do now. I don't know how to go on with my life anymore. And it was during that time when Gideon was like, okay, I can't go on life with anymore. I have kids, and I don't know how to really go on without my life, without my sweet Janette. And he wasn't really dating at the time at all when she died. And afterwards, when Gideon was, like I said before, Gideon was depressed. I didn't really go in full detail back in the day. So Gideon became depressed. He started drinking. He started doing some random things you guys don't want to hear. And he started selling some random quote unquote medicine. And during that time, it was he was only trying to do that to, make ends meet and try to provide for his family. But things started getting out of hand. And bad people started coming over to the house. The stuff got trashed. The neighbors haven't seen him in months, and heard some bad little rumors about his family and about his life and about his lifestyle and what he's doing for his job to provide for his kids. So, like I said, the neighbors called Child Protective Services said, so I have this next door neighbor named Gideon Worley. He has 2 kids named Nash and Elena Worley, about 7 years apart. Nash is about 11, and Elena is about, let's say, about 9. Well, around that age, she was around really, really young. And their father is really not doing so well. He hasn't been out of the house for months. The kids are not doing so well in school, and they aren't doing that well in eating well. So what the Child Protective Services people came over to his house, knocked on their door. knocked on the door saying, I heard about from your neighbors, stuff like that. And they were really nice at first, but they said, you know what, if this happens again, I'm going to give you no warning right now. If it happens again, we will take your kids away and you will not see them ever again because you are an unfit parent at this point in time. If you do not get your act together, bad things will happen and you might end up going to jail for either, I don't know, for something for children, and also your kids will be taken away, separated. They'll be separated and will no longer see them ever again. So it was in that time when Gideon said, you know what, I'm going to put my act together and start doing what I need to do better for my kids. And that's how it's happened. So I will explain more into my Let's Play tomorrow for my first part of my Sims 4 Parenthood Let's Play. So either way, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I'm going to end this part right here. What is in my life? But anyway, so I hope you guys enjoyed it. Let me know what you think down in the comments below as always. And I will see you guys all in the very next video. Bye!